Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of What Will I Be Watching? Um, so this time we're going to be talking about the Spring 2021 lineup and the animes that I watched there. And I don't have a whole lot of time tonight. I'm recording this. I'm recording this after. I'm recording this after work. Um, and I don't have a whole lot of time. I got home late, so I don't have a whole lot of time right now. So I'm gonna have to do kind of a rapid fire for this one. So My Hero Academia season 5. Um, Recommend. It's not a must watch. It's not a must watch. My Hero Academia. I would not say My Hero Academia is a must watch anime, but it is a recommend. I do recommend. It does have it does have a good story and good world building in it, and there are some really good characters in it. Um, uh, then let's see. Okay. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord season 2. That is a must watch. That is a must watch. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is one of the funniest isekais out there, in my opinion. And the second season, not only is it way better than season 1 was, which I loved season 1, and this is a million times better than season 1. But also the opening slaps. I love the opening for season 2. It is legit one of my favorite openings. It is legit one of my favorite openings, like one of my favorite anime openings, like ever. Like definitely top 20 favorite. Um, and then Iruma-kun season 2. Um, that is a recommend. That is a recommend. And now we move on. And now we move. I think that's it for sequels. So now we're moving on to the actual different, the actual different brand new shows. Shaman King, which ran for 52 episodes and covered the entirety of the series. It skipped a lot of stuff. This version of Shaman King, it did skip a lot of stuff. It did cover the entirety of the actual story. It unfortunately skipped a lot of it did skip a lot of stuff, but it actually covered it instead of going, in its own direction, being a whole bunch of filler. Which I grew up with Shaman King. I watched Shaman King growing up, and I loved that show. But reading the manga made me realize, the anime did not cover this at all. um, and that was one of my first instances of being like, so there's things that happened in the manga that were never even covered in the anime, and there are things in the anime that never happened in the manga. That was kind of my first instance of filler. Um, so, but Shaman King, definitely a recommend. Definitely recommend. This is a much better. This is a much better way of telling the Shaman King story than the original anime is, and it's my preferred way of reliving the story now. So definitely recommend that one. And then Slime Diaries is next, which is a spin-off series based on how not that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's a spin-off series, and it's very it's very cute, and it basically just takes place. It basically just it takes place. Trying to remember when it takes place. It's I want to say it's between seasons 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure it takes place between seasons 1 and 2. Um, it's been a while since I watched it, but it was a very cute series. It was a very cute. It was a very cute series, and I really enjoyed it. Um, Next is combatants will be dispatched. Um, and this series. The light novel for this series was created by the same person who created Konosuba. So, very obviously, there's going to be a lot of comedy to this one. And I would say cautiously recommend for this one, because while the comedy is good, um, mostly there's a couple characters that they try to be funny with, but it just fails. Like there's this like silver-haired knight lady, um, who, is supposed to be who is supposed to be very powerful in this world, but then when pit against um the main characters who come from a sci-fi world, a world where they've already conquered everything, and their leaders have found a way to traverse to other worlds. Here comes the main character. Here comes the main characters into this other world, and they have all of this technology from their world. And suddenly, this silver-haired knight lady, who was very powerful, is now worthless in the face of all this technology that's being brought over. And they try to make it funny, and it just never works. Some of the other characters in the series are legitimately funny, and I do get a kick out of a lot of them. But they really, really try to have a lot of comedy moments with that night lady, and it just never works. So, I would say cautiously recommend. Some of the comedy hits really hard, hits really good. Some of it completely misses. And the story, don't. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the story of this because it is confusing. It is weird. And yeah, I would say cautiously recommend, because what it is, when it's funny, it is really funny. And to be fair, there are characters in it that are actually really enjoyable to watch. There are characters in there that are very enjoyable to watch. So there is substance there. There is stuff there that I can recommend. There's just not a ton. So cautiously recommend that one. Next is Higehiro. After being rejected, I took in a high school runaway. So this one started off really good. It really started off really good. Like this girl, this high school girl who has been tossed around from guy after guy who only wanted one thing from her. She needs somewhere to stay, and meanwhile, the main character, he tries asking out the girl that he likes. He tries asking her out. She rejects him, and he's feeling super depressed. He sees how he finds this high school girl on the street with nowhere to go, so he offers to let her stay at his place. And he doesn't do anything with her. And he becomes kind of this father figure, because she doesn't have a father. She has a mother, she has a mother who is just a terrible mother. She has a horrible mother, and she ran away from home because she doesn't want to have to deal with her awful mother anymore. And she has no father figure. And so he kind of becomes this. Hold on. He kind of becomes this father figure for her, and helps to teach her several different things. Teaches her several life lessons, and as the series goes on, she starts to grow feelings for him, and he keeps it professional. he keeps it professional, and then he decide at some point he's like, okay, this has gone on too long. Like, she needs to talk to her mother. Like, we need to clear this whole thing up. And so he goes with her to meet with her mother. And okay, I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit. Let's see. Here we go. How about that? That better? Okay. So, uh, so he goes to meet with her mother, and talks to her, gets them to reconcile, and everything seems to be fine now. Everything seems to be fine now. He's gonna go back to living on his own now that her and her mother have reconciled. Their bond is starting to heal. And then in the last, like, 5 minutes of the final episode, he gets asked out by the girl he asked out. Turns out she does have feelings for him. And we see that throughout the course of the series. She does have feelings for him, but she was not in a position where she was able to be in a relationship at the time. And so now she is able to be in a relationship. She's worked through the issues that she had, and so she's able to be in a relationship. But now he no longer likes her. Instead, he likes this underage high school girl. And he decides that he's just going to wait for her to graduate, and she'll come live with him as soon as she graduates. And yeah. So it comes off as kind of a grooming type situation. And yeah, it started off so good with him stepping up as being kind of the father figure to her character. She never had a father figure, and he steps up as that father figure. And I really thought that's where it was gonna go. That she was just gonna see him as a father figure, and nope. It goes to the weird place. So, I cannot recommend it. So, do not recommend. Next up, I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Another slime anime, another slime isekai. Let's see, we're up to, like, how many now? 4? By the grace of the gods. This one, Slime Diaries, reincarnated as a slime. We're up to 4 slime isekais at this point. I do plan on making an entire, like, 2-week special, something like that. Maybe a month, maybe a whole month special where I just make a whole bunch of videos talking about all the different animes that put a huge focus on slimes. Because there's quite a lot of them, to be honest. There's actually quite a few of them that put a huge focus on slimes. So it's really weird. For a few years, there was a lot of animes or isekais that were coming out that had to do with slimes. That slimes was a major part of it. Like, there was a good few years after the success of Reincarnated as a Slime where a bunch of animes involving slime started to come out of the woodwork. So, but killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Absolute hilariousness. Female lead, and lots of implied Yuri. So if you're a fan of Yuri, then this is one to check out. This one's the Yuri is more implied in this season. However, it's supposed to be getting a season 2 here in April. Here in April, season 2 is supposed to start up. And supposedly, from what I've heard, I haven't read the light novel, so I can't say for certain, but from what I have been told, it seems like the implied Yuri is going to become explicit Yuri as the series goes on. So yeah, so it's an isekai about a witch girl, a cute witch girl, killing slimes. She's immortal. She's lived for 300 years, and she ends up getting a harem of women. So, yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, then yeah, go ahead and watch it. I would say recommend. I enjoyed my time with it. I thought it was a cute anime. Um. So next up is Full Dive. The ultimate next-gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. So Full Dive. God, this anime is so weird. Ugh. Like, it on the surface, it sounds hilarious. The setup sounds hilarious. Where the main character, he gets tricked into buying a VR game, a really crappy VR game that has absolute garbage ratings. And it's because in the game your stats are determined by your stats in real life. So for me, I'm a big guy. I'm not particularly fast. The speed I can run in real life would translate into this game. Like, my speed, my weight, everything. Like, I wouldn't be able to customize my avatar. It'd literally just be me in the game. And if I want to get stronger in the game, I gotta hit the gym. I gotta hit the gym. And at first, that might not seem too bad. You might think, oh, well, that's just gonna encourage people to actually, like, go out and start running to get faster, or go to the gym to get stronger. And it would give them a reason to go there in order to get better at the game, and get them in shape in real life. What's so bad about that? Well, here's the thing. That's not the only thing that's duplicated in real life. Your injuries that you receive in the game feel real. Like, you get stabbed if you get stabbed in the arm, you're going to feel that as if it just happened to you in real life. Even though you won't have any scar in real life, it's gonna feel like it. They simulate the exact amount of pain. If you get an arm chopped off, your arm will actually feel like it has been chopped off. If you are dealt a fatal blow in the game, the intense amount of pain you will feel will actually fry your brain. You will feel so much pain in real life from the injury you're sustaining in the game that you can actually die of shock. And that's exactly why it has such shitty ratings. Because people have actually died from the horrible different injuries they sustained in the game. So he gets tricked into buying the game and trying it out, only to and you might think, oh, well, okay, that's fine. Well, he can just that's fine. He can just delete it and never play it again. Except, nope, he can't. If he tries to delete the save file, because this game is so messed up that if he tries to delete the save file, it's going to destroy his VR headset. And it costed him thousands of dollars to get it. Like, he spent years saving up. Literal years saving up his allowance in order to afford it. On top of that, there is no restart. So any horrible decision he makes is made permanent. Any horrible decision he makes is made permanent. So he accidentally ends up killing one of his childhood friends in the starter town, leading the other childhood friend to become a complete psychopath who simultaneously is completely in love with him but also wants to kill him. Um and yeah. And yeah, there's no restarting. There's no restart. There's no restarting it. There's no restart. There's no restarting it. And if he tries, it's just gonna. It's and if he tries, it's just going to completely destroy the headset entirely. So the only way forward, and here's the thing: he can't just not. He can't just not play the game either, because he has other games that he wants to play, but he can't eject the game. He cannot. He cannot stop playing the game. Otherwise, again, the headset gets fried. So he literally is not allowed to play any other games until he beats this one. He also can't take a break for too long from it, because if he ends up staying away from the game for like more than a week, again, it gets fried. So the game is designed to force people to play it and punish themselves. And so, like, it is just so messed up the way this game is. It's so freaking messed up. And it just gets into shitty situation after shitty situation, and he's just constantly suffering and constantly fearing for his life, both in game and real life, because again, you get stabbed in the game, you're gonna feel that in real life. It'll feel like you actually got stabbed. And so, yeah, throughout the whole series, I'm just hoping, praying that the universe gives this guy a freaking break. So, do not recommend. I cannot recommend it. So, okay, this one, the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. I only just recently watched this, and it's a good one. It is a good one. I wish I hadn't slept on it when it first came out. I slept on it when it first came out, and a friend recommended it to me, and so I finally sat down and watched it, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is actually really good. I really like this. I love the main character. She's awesome. She's very entertaining. So, I absolutely would recommend this. That the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. Recommend it. Let's see. Next is The World Ends With You, the animation. I never played the game. I never played The World Ends With You. Never played it. But this animation makes me want to play it. Like, I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts games, and I recognize a lot of the characters in this animation from Dream Drop Distance, and I knew that they were from The World Ends With You. I knew that, but I had never played it, and so when I heard there was going to be an anime version of the game, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I get the story of the game without having to, sit through hours upon hours of text. So I watched it. I watched all 12 episodes. It was good. I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it, and now I want to play the game. I want to play the game now. So, yeah. Next, Dragon Goes House Hunting. Burn it. It's a cowardly dragon that just wants a home. And he's relying on a wizard to help him find a home. And this wizard is a real estate agent. And every single episode is just him showing a new location and then he tries staying there for a few days and finds out why it's not a fit for him, and that's just the running joke. Burn it. It's boring. It's so boring. Like, honestly, I can't even remember most of what happens in the series, to be honest, because I kept falling asleep. Because it was the same jokes over and over, that at some point I just started falling asleep in the episodes. I honestly can't remember anything beyond, like, the third episode of the series. I watched every episode, but I kept falling asleep in the middle of it because it is just so boring. Oh, I do not like it. Alright. Let's see. What else? Okay. Here's the next one. Osamake, rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. So I should mention that this is based on a light novel, and the light novel is still going to this day. It's not finished. So this little rant of mine could end up being a completely moot point, because they could still decide to actually do what the title says. So the whole premise of this one is that this is one where childhood friends actually get together. Because the childhood friend being in love with the main character, that's a trope as old as anime. And the childhood friend never wins. Ever. If you're a childhood friend with the main character, it's basically guaranteed you're not getting together with them. That is basically a guarantee in anime. Because it just never happens. Well, Osamake, rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose, is supposed to be different. It's supposed to actually have the childhood friend win. But here's the thing. So you've got the main character. He has a childhood friend who has been there for pretty much his whole life. They've known each other their whole lives. He used to be a actor. He used to be a child actor. And at some point, there was a coworker, another child actor, a female child actor, that he worked with on one project. Just one. And they were coworkers. And she's considered a childhood friend. They were coworkers. They literally never spent any time together outside of work. That is not a childhood friend. That is a coworker. Okay, well, what about the third girl? What about the third girl? The last. There's three girls. What about the third girl? The last girl. She was a fan. She was a mega fan of him as a child actor, and she met him once when her father, who was a major donor to one of his projects, basically said that he'd increase his how much he donates if he spends a single day just playing with her, just having fun and playing with her. So he does. So it was a celebrity meeting a fan for one day. And she's also considered a childhood friend in the context of this series. That is a celebrity meeting a fan. That is not childhood friends. That does not count as childhood friends. What counts as childhood friends is someone who has been there with you from day one. The very start. So he has one childhood friend, but the whole premise and the whole setup of this series wants to make it seem like all three of these girls are childhood friends, when really it's just one. It's just one that's a childhood friend to him. The other two do not count. Their circumstances are not considered childhood friend worthy. So, if the light novel ends with him getting together with either of those two, then it's literally false advertising. It's literally false advertising. And again, it's still going. It hasn't ended yet, so this whole rant could be a moot point. But I had so much hope for this. I legitimately had so much hope for this. And I would cautiously recommend it. Because the characters are very likable. It is very entertaining. The story of the main character, his whole character growth is really interesting. It's really fascinating to see why he gave up being a child actor and the tragedy of his character and what he went through. It's really interesting. I really like it, but I would only cautiously recommend it. So, let's see. Talked about that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. Last one. Last one is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Season 1. I love this series. I love Nagatoro. The manga finished earlier this year. And I love this series. It is very entertaining. You have to get through the first episode. You do have to get through the first episode. And she does kind of come off as kind of a bitch in the first episode, but by the end of the first episode, it becomes pretty clear that she's mostly just trying to get him to become more confident. That she's not necessarily bullying him simply to be mean. What she's doing is she's trying to push him to stand up for himself. She's trying to push him to be to not just be a carpet to walk on. It's very clear that she does have a soft spot for him. She does have a soft spot for him. And I love seeing their interactions. I love seeing how she starts off like just teasing him every episode, but as the series goes on, he tends to throw it right back at her. Sometimes he'll end up saying something to tease her a little bit, and she can't take it. She can't handle it. She'll just be blushing like crazy. So it is really nice to see their relationship develop. I do like this. It is definitely like among my top 10 favorite rom-coms or rom-com animes. Definitely in my top 10. I don't know if it would be my top 5, but definitely top 10. But yeah, I really like it. So, anyway, that's it. That's all that I would say must watch. Nagatoro is a must watch, definitely. So, okay, so let's see. Next is and it 12? Yeah, just 12. Okay. So I had 14 this time. I have 12 next time. For summer 2021. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for this video. So, yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. Let me know what you watched during that seasonal. Give me your recommendations. I would love to. I would love to get recommendations. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.